All right, bro. We're back to reality now. We're not in LA. We're not in LA no more.
We're back.
I will say, we didn't talk about this before, but I want to bring it up. It must be nice living in an area where you can order something and have it the next fucking day, you son of a bitch. Because we were talking about a mic and a headphone and light. You're like, oh, let me get that real quick. Pop. And it's fucking Sunday.
Yeah, I told you. I was like, yeah. We talked about this, Friday?
Bro, I ordered some stuff. I might not get it for 2-3 days.
Nah, that's the beauty.
I'm not even in a rural area. Ugh.
There's 2 large hubs here. Even
son of a bitch.
Probably not even like a 10-minute drive from my house. So yeah, I got it the next morning between 4 and 8. So when I got up, it was already there.
That's fucking crazy.
I'm
happy for you.
It's wonderful.
How are those headphones though? They're good.
Oh, bro, these are great, bro. These are great. Very comfortable.
Like, better than. Well, I'm not trying to say better than, but so I have Bose, but I just had these for traveling. They work for what we're doing, but how do you feel those work for this?
I think these are great. They're compared to like the over the one. I mean, I have Beats over the ear. These are a lot larger. They're very comfortable, and it matches the board. So I mean, so it's seamlessly as opposed to the troubleshooting we were doing the other day.
And how much were those?
I think it was about $50.
Bro, that's not bad, bro.
Yeah, about $50.
That's not bad. All right, on to the topics, bro. We got to talk about it?
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Book us out.
Volume one. You guys go buy it.
On Amazon. Bro, actually, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Walmart online.
Yes.
Very excited about that. And then also you can do it through Barnes & Noble, but the website is also
Barnes &
up.
Noble.
That's right. Website's also up, streettailsnetwork.com.
Yep.
And do you mind if we talk about it a little bit? I know it seems we're self-promoting, but
no, of course.
The concept of the website.
Yeah.
Because it's the network. So you're able, you could follow us on Instagram, which all the shit helps. Yep. You can also go to the podcast section where you can get, right now it's Street Tales and 56'N. You can click on the link. It takes you to the YouTube, so the video version of it. You can also buy the book, soon to be books, right? And you can also do bulk orders. You can do all that kind of, so it's like one-stop shop. But the other part of it is something that we've talked about is getting into speaking and also being podcast guests on other podcasts. So it's like one place to do all of that. And I know everybody's like, oh yeah, so what? That's what websites. Dude, it's like I'm learning and I love it.
Yeah. The only way to do it is to learn. You learn by doing, not by being told. At least I do, right?
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a big learning curve. And I will say I talked to so now I'm, because this is now a business, right? And I've had a couple very good conversations this week with people in the business industry, that is. And I'm like, look, I need help. And, I say what it is. I've been in law enforcement for a very long time. I don't like talking about myself too, on here, it's one thing, it's a purpose, but like just going up to people and saying, hey, this is what I do. This is who I am. Yeah. That is just not in my comfort zone right now. And all of them go, well, you need to stop that shit right now. Immediately.
I need to get over that real quick.
You need to cut that. He goes, because that's part of it. But for me, and this is where I'll kick it back to you, is like, for me, it's like, I'm very impressed by the people that we have on. Like their stories just, they intrigue me. And that's why most of the people we have on here, I either look up to them or I respect them. They're a mentor in some sort of way, things like that. And so it's like, it's theirs. I want the focus. It's like, I don't want the focus to be on me per se. Like the focus is on the story and them sharing it. I'm very appreciative. But on the flip side, I want to do a good job and I want to do it in a way that, because if you do something that's half-assed or substandard, then it just takes away from the whole story that's being told. So it's like, I want to do a good job. I believe in it. So with that, I got to kind of get over my own insecurities there.
Yeah. You've always been like that since I've known you.
I know.
As a quasi-perfectionist where I'm just like, fucking send it, bro.
Let's go.
Let's just fucking go. We'll figure it out as we go. At the same time,
I overthink.
But it's one of those things I've learned over time. It's like what's the term? Paralysis by analysis. Right? You overthink it so much that you don't do anything because you're just, what about this? What about this? What about this? Bro, just go.
I think that ties into our talking about the trip in LA. That's such a fucking cool experience. And, but I think somebody asked, they're like, so how much is one of these if I want to put it in my house? And it
was me.
Again. Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought it was Adam, but maybe you both did. And we're talking to Nick, who's the engineer. And again, shout out Village Studios, Jeff and Tina.
Wonderful.
Much love.
Experience.
They support us. They love us. We had a great time. But Nick was like, 1.5 million. So if I waited to have that quality, we just never do this.
Yeah. And I think
this never happens.
This is working just fine.
Drop 1.5 million on on a studio just to begin? Like at some point, you just got to say, "Fuck it, full send, let's go."
Yeah, I was asking because I see like all these, you have like artists and R&B, hip hop, whatever, all the different kind of musical artists, right? And they get to a point where like, at some point they realize, or not even that they realize, I just come across it like, oh yeah, I have a studio in my house. So like, I think it was like a Jermaine Dupri interview I was watching.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I just called up so-and-so, had him come by the house, come in the studio. I was like, what do you mean come to the studio to your house? What are you talking about? What do you mean? And so I was like, obviously they never talk about how much the shit costs. Obviously, I'm assuming it costs a pretty fucking penny, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's in your house. But even the size of that studio seemed to be, I'm sure there's bigger studios, like size-wise.
Well, you remember the other one that we didn't record in, but the bigger one. Yeah, it's fucking massive.
Yeah, right? So I was like, wait a minute, 1.5 for this one? This is just kind of like, this seems like a more intimate, like,
it's a small
studio.
one.
Yeah, right? And I'm like, these dudes are paying quite a penny. But I mean, it's like, it's a nice, obviously it's an investment you have to have, especially you don't have to go anywhere. You can just, I have a gym in my garage, right? It makes more sense for me just to have it here than to get up and go somewhere else,
Yeah, gyms can be expensive. I know our buddy Mike, his home gym has gone off the rails because unfortunately he had to close his one gym. But imagine to have your home gym and it was $1 million. You'd be like, I guess I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's like anything you want to be nice. I think, depending on the level of where you are, you're gonna drop some coin, especially if you want it to be nice to your liking. Put it this way, you're gonna pay for what you want to have.
Not for sure.
And in most cases, the equipment in and of itself is expensive anyway, right? Yeah. So I mean, I've got some stuff, and I've got my setup looking to kind of upgrade my own stuff. And every time, I'm like, do I really want to pay? Yeah, I was like, do I really want to pay that? Because what I got, it's almost like, but what I have right now is working. Do I really want to? I feel like this is, kind of the same thing. But I mean, we get to a point. I'm like, sure, I could turn this room into a studio, soundproof the doors, and the whole nine or whatever. It'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're good. What? Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I like you, but I like you, but
fair enough, bro. What was the highs and lows, or if any lows?
I don't think there was any lows when it comes to the trip in general.
Besides traveling there, but
yeah, I mean, I say that would be my only quote unquote negative. It's a lot more expensive out there than it is on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, buddy.
And just getting there and then also coming back. The time switch, the jet lag, what kind of it takes a couple of days to get around that. But I mean, the greatly supersedes the highest. Greatly supersede that by far. Not even close.
Yeah.
One, just the whole experience of doing it in a professional studio, listening to it, seeing what it sounds like, not only while we're doing it in that instance, but also listening to it while in the studio, hearing how it sounds, and then watching obviously Nick do the whole, and then the studio in and of itself, right? It's like just a historic studio. Also the tour is great. Looking at all the plaques and shit everywhere. I'm just like, man, there's a lot of history in this building. Obviously how much I'm a big music guy, so I'm like, just looking around like, man, this is really fucking cool. I don't think people understand how cool this is, but not saying, but yeah. So I love it. I'm on both of those levels. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I've tried so many times to get people to come out when we were out there, and I'm like, dude, this is studio. Like, I understand now there's levels to studio. It's not, not in some shopping mall. Nothing wrong with that either. Listen, I don't have a studio, so whatever. I'm not hating on anybody, but I'm like, no, this is like a massive studio that's very fucking cool.
Yeah.
Very few people ever took me up on it. And then the ones that did were like, holy shit, this is amazing. I was like, I'm trying to tell you, I don't know how to, I don't feel like I'm underselling it. It's fucking amazing.
No. It is. It's everything you pegged it to be and probably a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to sell it more. I'm just like, it's fucking cool. I mean, I can't sit here and say every time, oh yeah, there's definitely gonna be celebrities and all this stuff. Sometimes there are, but I don't run that, and they're not gonna tell me. But I've met a bunch, and they're all very cool. But what'd you think of Jeff, bro? Bro, I said he's a fucking bro. He came in strong as a rock star. I don't think I've ever seen him in a suit. He had the suspenders on, and everything. I was like, oh shit, power suit.
Yeah, he looks like what you think he would probably look like. It's like I'm like, Lex, I was like, Joe, you look like you belong on the beach. Like you just look like that California.
Yeah, bro.
I don't want to say stereotypical, but like when you think of like just a carefree type of guy, you would think like this is the kind of guy I would see on the beach with a surfboard or whatever, just hanging out, doing whatever.
In his 70s, bro.
Yeah, bro, 100%.
Bro, and then when he comes in, he goes, well, I'm having a good day. I haven't crushed anybody's dreams today, so.
Anybody need anything? Can I get your coffee? Can I get your water?
Yeah, he's like, now back to my real job. Coffee, water, snacks, anything? All good? Snacks in the back, good? All right, very good. Bro, like, that dude's, he's the man. And then, Tina makes me laugh because she's very just kind of,
yeah.
It's hard when you have somebody like Jeff as your partner, right? Very that dude is just one in a million. But Tina is like, she's got her own stuff, you know what I mean? And she's got her own, like, she'll just drop stories like, oh yeah, Elton John, like it's very nonchalant the way she talks. And I'm like, that's amazing. That's fucking crazy.
You should
just nonchalant.
Sir Elton John? Yeah. You're like, oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
Bro, they told a story, and I believe it was on the episode we recorded, but it's just, I got to reiterate it. They talked the whole story about Elton was doing something he was recording, and then one of the assistants came up and said, I don't know if they're police or military, but somebody's here for Sir Elton John. And they're like, oh. And so they went and talked. He's like, oh yeah, it's my ride. I got to go. And they went out, and they were in like military, like Class A uniforms, but it had Mickey Mouse on it. They were from Disney. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, they have their own like Class A, like not, I almost said military, law enforcement. And they wear like Class A's, but it has Mickey as the logo, bro. I was like, I need that, bro. I need that so bad. So, bro, they got handcuffs and guns, bro. They got arrest powers. They take your freedom away.
Who's freedom away?
I wouldn't believe it. I'm like, bro, get the fuck out. Get out of here with that shit. But think about it. It's like a small city, like Disney in Orlando.
Yeah, bro. A lot of things happen on Disney property that they're allowed to do, that they do, So it's not knocking it, but it's
I just think it's great.
It would be strange to see like somebody roll up on you, traffic stop, get out with a Mickey Mouse fucking on the badge. Like, what the
bro? But how cool is that badge though?
That is. It's like let me get one of those.
How much is that? Let me slap.
Let me get one of those. Let me get one of those. Yeah.
I wonder what their benefits are. See, now you got me thinking.
Probably amazing.
I would hope so.
Probably amazing.
Because also think about this. Think about being a cop in like Disney World. Let's just focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let's talk about Disney World and casinos. How fucking awful. You're dealing with people at their worst because they're on vacation. They're drinking. They don't give a fuck. They're not at their house. They're just like, it's spring break every single day you go to work.
Oof.
Yeah, bro. Again, not 90%, but like 5-10% that you have to deal with and law enforcement has to get involved. You're like, ugh.
I'm thinking out of those two, I'm thinking the casino might be a little worse because
because then you're dealing with people in their full blown addictions.
Exactly.
Actually, do you remember I think it was Hard Rock, and we were dealing with a crash, hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, dude, the car had to be totaled. And we were like, what? And then they found it in the parking lot of the Hard Rock Casino. We're not talking about who it belonged. It doesn't matter who it belonged to.
Yeah.
The dude, it was like 1 a.m. He woke up from a dream that he hit it big and just had to get to the casino. So even though he smashed into a car, totaled his car, radiator, I don't know how he got there. He runs into the casino because that's how serious it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're dealing with.
That's what you're dealing with. Yeah.
Oh.
Or a lot of high rollers,
Oh, yeah. Like,
whatever.
Who are you?
Who are you? I'm like, bro. But also, and also,
you know who I am?
Yeah, it's like that's a completely different municipality in and of itself. The Seminole.
No, bro. I need to try to get one. I'd love to get someone on like that from one of these. I don't know even what you call it. I don't want to call them theme park because they're law enforcement, bro. They go to a police academy and everything.
Yeah,
They have detectives. They have all that shit.
Well, the Seminole PD is obviously legitimate PD, but they do
100%
all the Seminole property, not just.
Oh yeah, the tribal stuff is
just the tribal.
Yeah. They have different like rules and shit. Yeah,
completely different thing. The Mickey Mouse stuff, the Disney stuff, this Mickey Mouse operation. The Disney stuff also, they have a lot of power on their private property. But like you said, they're still
they run that.
They're still law enforcement. It's good. I think it's almost like it's annexed off from like your Florida. Shit, I think it's a little bit different.
It's its own deal.
There's a small country in there.
Like the Vatican, bro.
We'll stay away from that.
Oh, shit, bro. Oh, fuck, bro. All right. Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, man.
What made you want to bring that up?
Well, we were talking about the book stuff. And
how I feel, yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it. And I'm like, damn, I was like, but sometimes you do kind of have that. And it's like, I've gotten it for a long time. I think just because the way that I guess personally look at stuff, I always usually try to pick people's brains or talk to people that have either been to the place that are currently doing what I want to do or have been there in some form of fashion or, prior to. So for me, it's always like, I'm always looking to attain something or get to a different level or do whatever. But at the same time, when you're doing that, also, and that I've done this, obviously going to therapy and talking about it, right? You kind of miss the point where like, wait a second, I am doing it. Like I am the thing. I guess it's like acknowledging where you currently are as a place you were trying to previously get to, and now you're at that place. But if you're always kind of like looking ahead, you're not like taking stock of where you are right now, right? I think career wise, yes, but for me, mostly on the bomb side is I tell you this: once you kind of graduate basic, you know enough to know that. How do I, right? I know enough to know that I don't know enough.
That I need more.
Right? And so like of all the classes that I've been to, trainings and certifications, all this kind of stuff, it's like, wait a minute, I do know this shit, and I do know what I'm doing, and I do. So it's almost kind of like you're like, not lack of confidence, but I'm kind of just acknowledging that it's like a two-part thing, right? Acknowledging the fact that you want to continuously get better and do more shit, but at the same time being like, no, I am the guy, I am one of the tops, I am doing this or whatever. So it's kind of getting past that feeling of like, oh, like wondering if you belong. No, I belong here. Yes, we're doing this. We belong here. I'm qualified, verified. So it's a lot of that.
Yeah. And, not to bring it very similar, Mike, some other guys that are businessmen as well. I have a tendency of saying, hey man, I'm out here trying. And they go, no, bro, you're doing it. Stop saying you're trying. You're doing it. It's a mindset. Fair enough.
Yep.
The other part I struggle with is kind of like, well, hopefully we'll have, until he comes on, Batman.
Yeah.
One of our favorite detectives. Still probably the best detective I've ever.
Oh, yeah.
Just best investigator.
Right.
It's not even buttering him up. It's just, Mo's even said if she ever had murder or something in her family, I will call him directly, but I need you to help me. That's how it is.
Yeah.
So like, I'm very confident in my ability to investigate cases, but then you come across people like, I don't know shit. They're so much better than I am. Or cyber shit. I got really into cyber. I still am. And I'm like, I'm feeling myself. I got all these certifications. And then you come across somebody who's just like, I just hacked your whole shit. You're like, damn it. I'm not, you realize there's levels to this shit. So then tie that into like what we're doing, podcasting, writing books and stuff. It's like, who am I, bro? Like, I'm proud of the career I've had, made a lot of mistakes. Don't claim to be the best by any stretch of the imagination. People are much better. But in talking to people, they're like, yeah, but what are they doing? They're not doing this. They're not podcast. They're not right. They're not doing that. He goes, and what you're doing is you're trying to capture their stories. So good on you. Because I do think it's important. So balancing that out. But, I will say this because I got to give a shout out to Doug White just to show you. And there's a reprint coming. But I didn't realize this. And then he pointed it out and in the nicest way possible. And I had nothing but respect. So on the forward, Doug White wrote the forward. You don't see that because it cut his name off in the printing. And I was like, oh my God. Whereas the other two people who wrote the endorsements, their stuff's on there.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice.
So when they send you the digitals, like, hey, this is what it's going to look like printed. It's all on there, but I don't know. I'm not a printer. Margins, whatever. It just cut it off. Yeah. And here I am pushing it, happy, like, hey, the book is out.
Hey, still.
I still am, but it's like, it's those little things, and it's like, he went out of his way to do this for me, and now I'm not. So I immediately called the publisher, and it's being fixed. It'll be fixed Monday. But I'm just like, damn it. So it's like, even at like, here I am, it's like, we're doing it. And it's like, but he did show me on his book. So Doug wrote Hiding in Plain Sight. Great book. You can also buy that on Amazon. Side note, I'm also trying to see if I'm trying to be like, put stuff on our website, like resources, but also push other people's stuff that we like, I don't know. That's coming. So it's Hiding in Plain Sight, PLAIN. He goes, read the spine. So this part of the book on the edge, and he goes, read it. And I said, oh, hiding in plain sight. He goes, no, look at the words, and it's hiding in plan sight. They forgot the I. He goes, yeah, sold 200 copies before I realized that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, bro, just little things, bro, little things.
But and it's.
Well, for me, it's embarrassing. I was like, I feel embarrassed.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to be professional, bro.
But here's the thing about that, right? I've been looking at a lot of videos on this, and also it's been on my mind, right? I heard this, I don't know if I would call it a quote, but it's the sentiment, right? In some cases, like they said, the price of success is embarrassment.
I've never heard that, but I don't doubt it at all.
But you're putting yourself out there, right?
Yep. And you're going to fuck up. You're definitely going to fuck up.
You're going to fuck up. And I take it back to any time I tried something new, I took it on, I've always learned, right? So, and I take it also just as a life lesson too. And I tell people this all the time. Anytime I'm like on the cusp of something new, I was like, you know what? Every time I jump from the nest, I've always flown. Always.
Yeah.
Always figure it out, as they say, on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out. So a lot of things of course, we're human. We're going to fuck it up. We're going to mess up. Going to make some mistakes. Nobody is, well, and this is why I know you'll appreciate this. This is why words matter, right?
Yes, they do.
So when people say something is perfect, right? Perfect, the word perfect by definition only means completion. It doesn't mean without flaw. It's not what it means. People are like, oh, she's perfect for me, or I'm perfect this. And I was like, no, that's not what you're saying, and what you're saying and what you mean is not the same thing. Something that is perfection means that it is complete. It doesn't mean it doesn't have flaws. It doesn't mean it doesn't have blemishes or anything like that. It just means the process is complete of what you're doing. That's it. So I try to keep that on. You're like, oh, you're looking for perfection. Like, not necessarily. Obviously, I want to do something with the least amount of flaws as possible, right? Mm-hmm. That's the goal. Even though knowing that that's not going to happen, but you're going to face it anyway. You're going to try anyway. And I think that's where, like I said, the price of success, right, with anything is embarrassment and trying. But like I said, there's people who are probably better at us, at speaking or doing, digital shit. But at the same time, they're also not doing a fucking thing. Who are you? Who do you, and I look at it the same way as like, I have a very hard time listening to like sportscasters, like some of these sports shows that I've never played. Right?
I have the art.
You see where I'm going with this, right? I have a hard time kind of respecting your opinion because you've never done it and you don't know.
Yeah, you could read stats. People could do that, but you don't understand what those stats. It's like people have said, you're saying things, but you don't know what they mean.
Exactly. Like, oh,
you can read them, but
how do you not catch that? How do you not complete that pass? Have you ever tried to do that with under stress and under this and this? I don't think you have. So I don't think you understand what you're talking about.
I've told my kids this many times. I've had highs and lows, sometimes in the same game. And I can remember one specifically. This was high school though. 70-yard bomb. I was by myself, just me. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, and you hear the whole crowd go. Then you have to think about this. You have to run all the way back. You were about to be a fucking hero, right? Same game, quarter later, getting hit one-handed, dragging two people, touched. Like it was like and it was like but I was like, why couldn't I do it when it was so easy? When I was wide open and nobody was around me, I could have just caught it and been like, yay, But highs and lows in the same shit. But you just the hardest thing is just dusting it off and moving on from it.
Yeah, it's wait, on that topic. I don't know if you know who Michael Beasley is. He's a basketball guy. First, I'm gonna send you some of his quotes. Some of the best fucking quotes I've heard in a long time. Love Michael Beasley, right? He's like a I feel not to boost myself, but he says the type of shit that I'm thinking, and he says it in the way that I'm thinking it when it comes to like a lot of quotes and shit, right? Yeah. And like a lot of sentiments that he puts out, right? And I was listening to he said this quote, and I fucking love it. He's like a lot of people will do things, will practice until they get it right. He's like, we're gonna practice until we can't get it wrong.
Ooh, I like that.
And I'm like,
that's a good one.
I'm like, damn, that's
good.
Yeah. I'm like, I like that one. And I'm like, that's, and so when I'm looking at some of the stuff that we're doing, I'm like, not that I'm shrugging off like the negatives or the pitfalls or the mistakes or whatever, but I'm like, that's just part of the process. Like some people would just do it and be like, oh, we're just doing this and that's fine. I was like, but no, we want to continue to do it, keep doing it until we can't fuck it up.
So you can't. Your body won't allow you. Your body
won't allow you to fuck it up because it's you've done it. But it's like, but the only way you get there is by continuing to do it. Yeah, that's it. Right. So I just continue the reps.
I thought you were gonna go with the Charles Barkley because for some reason his shit's popping up in my feed. But he's like the way he's like, yeah, when the big dude's just pressing you, just trying to get up beside you, and everyone's like, bro, what are you saying?
Pause, bro.
Oh, when he goes 2 words, LeBron James and Paul Pierce. Crush. They're like, bro, that's like 12. Like what? Like, bro, is your brain?
Are you all right?
Yeah, bro. And then I remember Shaq was ragging on him about his golf swing when
bro, it's terrible.
Well, he was a very good golfer. And then something happened. I don't remember that part. And then all of a sudden he had these weird hitching things. Like he was playing with like Michael Jordan and Shaq, and they're just laughing, rolling their ass off on the ground. They're like, bro, what are you doing? I don't know why we're talking about that, but yeah.
It looks so trash, bro.
Again, take nothing away from his athleticism, but bro, what is going on?
Yeah. I was like, you got some neurological shit going on.
Yeah, what just happened to you, bro? I like that though. Practice till we can't get it wrong.
Till you can't get it wrong, baby.
All right, hold on, bro. Because I got to look.
Double-slit theory.
Theory.
Double-slit theory.
So this is where
racking my brain, bro.
All right, hold on. I'm going to read it, and then because you brought this up, you're like, I want to talk about this. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. All right, here we go. The double-slit experiment demonstrates the principle of wave-particle duality by showing that light and matter exhibit both wave-like interference patterns and particle-like localized impact properties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. I don't even understand what I just wrote. But go ahead, bro.
Right? So oversimplification, right? So they're observing these particles, right? And they notice that the particles are not exhibiting any type of wave unless they're being observed by the observer experiment, right? So essentially it's like you would think that the particles would be doing the same shit the whole time because they're just existing, they're particles, right? But in the study they found that that's not true. So basically it says that the particles that were only observable through the slit and they would change when they were being observed.
Okay, that's weird.
Right? So it's like...
So if you turn away from it and just let it do its thing, it says one thing. If you turn around and look at it, it starts doing other things. It's weird, bro.
Right? So I'm like, wait a minute. So like, I mean, obviously, I get into all kind of weird shit, right? Are we living in the simulation, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Right? But I thought that one was interesting because I'm like, I don't even know how do you rationalize that in my human brain. Like, what the fuck is going on? So some people are like, yeah. So like, when they say shit like, you create your own reality. So it's like, wait a minute. So it's like, damn, think about it like a video game, right? Mm-hmm. So like a Sims or like an open world video game, right? So like when you're the character and you go to like one section of the game board, the rest of the shit it's not doing anything. It's not there. It doesn't exist until you go over there and like you're what's forcing it to exist because you're not going over there. I'm like,
Well, let me ask you this. I don't know if it's going to tie into this theory or not. I understand what you're saying. Video game is a great way to understand that. I understand that concept.
Yeah.
But when you talk about simulation stuff and we live in our own reality, that's kind of like you have to visualize where you want to go. Mm-hmm. So until you can visualize like what your goal is, like I want to be on the bomb team. I want to be a federal agent, whatever.
Yeah.
Prior to you having that thought in your head, the odds of you attaining that are slim to none, period, right? But the way it was explained to me is until you can articulate, put it on paper, whatever you got to do, what your goals, what your target, what your direction is, and then work towards that, that is what helps you attain that.
Yes.
Because you can get a degree in something, you can work out, but if you just don't have what you're trying to do with it in mind, you're just attaining things with no direction on where it's being applied.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my question is it the thought itself that opens the door, or is it the thought followed by the work?
I think it's both. Here's what I would say about that. I think the thought is more important than the latter, right? And I know this makes perfect sense, and I'm so sorry that I can't remember where I heard this from. But everything that exists in nature or in life, in reality, was a thought in someone's head first. Everything.
I have to think about that for a minute.
Hold on a second. Follow me.
I'm okay.
The light bulb behind you, the wall, the plaster, the picture on the wall, the microphone, all of it was a thought in someone's head first before it came into reality. Everything was a thought first. And they basically was trying to say like that's how powerful your thoughts are. He's like, so if you can think it, then at some point you can achieve it, you can see it. He's like, if you can think it, then you can see it in your mind. If you see it in your mind, you can create it in reality.
That's crazy, bro.
And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. He's like nothing existed first, and then we thought about it. It's always the other way around.
Interesting. And then think about this. For most of us, we think horrible thoughts about ourselves or whoever around us. The more you put that in your head, the more it becomes a reality, whether it's true or not.
Fulfilling prophecies, and it's like now, and it's like when they say when you go look for something, you're always going to find it. It's like because you're not going to stop until you find, and I think that people just human nature do that more so than they realize, right?
Yeah.
And this is why I tend to like not go back and forth with people, or people ask questions. I'm like, are you asking me a question because you want confirmation of what you're already thinking, or are you already asking me because you are looking for information? Because the nature of a question is to gain information that we don't have. So you're just asking me because you just want confirmation. My thing is just go with whatever you already thought.
So let's do this. We're not going to talk about the political stuff because we don't do, and I don't want to do that. So we'll just keep it very vague. But the point I'm making is if you are bombarded and all you do is consume information that says, because I am who I am, I'm an asshole, I'm a monster, I'm a terrible person, even though you've never met me, you have no idea who the fuck I am. You know, third party shit. And don't even get me started on social media and the media, straight up just lying about shit and like not even being accurate. So let's just leave that part out. But let's just say that's what happened. And then you meet me. Everything I say is going to be filtered through the veil of he's an asshole. Even if what I'm saying is not that, hey, how you doing? Fuck you, you're a fucking monster. You're whatever. Have I met you before? No, but I've heard about you.
Okay.
And you've never met me. How do
well, I think on the first level, I think it takes some, I don't know if personal accountability is the term I'm looking for here, right? But it takes looking at yourself, right? So the way I go about stuff or I think about things is this a two-way street, right? Could I be susceptible to the same thing, right? To where it's like, oh, okay, well, I've heard this, like, could that happen to me? And like, damn, if that happened to me, I'd be feeling like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up, right?
Yeah.
You know, we've all been in situations. I usually find a way more so when I deal when it comes to people per se, right? Yeah. So it's like, I get you get to a point, right, where it's like, man, it's not just me thinking this, or it's not like, for example, it'd be like, oh, well, a girl you like her, she said negative things about you. Not all her friends hate you, right? Like I expect that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they get one side of it, and they're biased to who they're getting it from, so they're just gonna go with that, right? And then you get the opportunity to talk to them. You're like, wait, what? They're like, didn't you? Blah, blah.
I'm not getting it. Yeah.
You're like, no, I didn't. Well, they said this. That's also not true. Oh, well, this is like, no, that's not true at all. That's not the story. That's not how that happened, right? So, but I like to think of it like I said, could that shit happen to me? I'm like, if that could happen to me, I'm like, let me see for myself, right? So it's like, but also I acknowledge the fact that I am maybe looking at it through the scope of a little bit of bias, depending on so it's like, yeah, everybody, but on the same token, this is obviously a little bit more concrete, right? You watch 15, we've all done this shit. You watch 10 people go up and try to open a door that's locked. And then you go up and like, maybe they're just not pulling it the right way.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh yeah, it is locked. You're like, motherfucker, like 10 people just went ahead of you and did the same shit. You just watched them. Are you gonna keep doing it? Right. So you're battling a little bit of both of those.
Yeah.
But the way I tend to look at it is, like I said, is this a two-way street? If it's a two-way street, damn, I don't want to be on the side of traffic that's gonna essentially like run into me. But I also realize a lot of people don't think about things in that fashion, right? So it's like I don't really know how you can combat that on a large scale.
Yeah, and my thing is this: I could be an asshole. I have been an asshole. I hate being an unintentional asshole.
But also, as you said, that could be, and I'm realizing this is too, and I didn't. Not to cut you off, but I didn't bring this up. I realized that could also be true for that person for whatever space that I met them in.
Yeah, there's a million reasons. You caught me on a bad day, or maybe I just don't like you. I don't know.
That's also true too.
Whatever reason. Yeah. But let me tie it into law enforcement just real quick, because this conversation is leading me down a thought I just had. So it's the perception of what somebody is, and then whether or not they're believable. And this is the story I want to talk about. Prostitutes. They're well, hold on, but they're everywhere. There's cops, and when a prostitute called 911, and they were like, "Hey, I just had this interaction with this weird dude. There's something's wrong. Like there's something wrong." And I'm not going to get into names or anything. We'll speak vague. And they were dismissed 2 or 3 times. It's like, man, fuck it, get out of here, fuck you, whatever. Dismiss them because of what they do.
Yeah.
And then not to make myself, but then I came across the same prostitute, and they're like, hey, and we had interacted with this individual a few times for other reasons, calls for service, things like that. And I was like, oh, well, what do you look like? Long and short of it is the dude ended up, he was targeting prostitutes to sexually assault them. And I think he ended up murdering one.
Mm-hmm.
And I reported all this to the detectives and they ended up finding the guy. They figured it out. The point that I talked to some of the officers, the law enforcement professionals who had initially interacted and listening to them be like, just be so dismissive. I was like, listen to me. Think about what they do every day and what they go through every single day. Every day. They don't want to interact with you. They're trying to avoid you. So what would prompt them to call you and put themselves out there and tell you something is wrong? Something is wrong, dude. But you need to listen to that. You can't just dismiss them because of whatever of their historical issues.
Yeah.
And again, a couple of the young ones like, I didn't think about it that way. And I'm like, you need to think about it that way. And then there's others that are just like, fuck that. I don't give a shit. It's that perception.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard to, like I said, this is where I go back to what I was saying before. It's hard to fight against the preconceived notion. Like, what's the term? When someone is, it's hard to combat when someone is dedicated to misunderstanding you.
Yeah, they just don't want to.
Yeah. And it's like you can tell that shit immediately, right? It's like anything I say is always going to be looked at through the lens of this, under the guise of this. You're like, motherfucker, I'm not going back and forth with you. It's like you just don't like me, or you don't like what I stand. You don't, whatever it is. It's like you are diametrically opposed to me, or what I stand for, what I'm doing. I was like, I'm not going back and forth. It's like you can tell that shit. It's like, oh, you can say the vibe or fucking whatever, right? But you can just tell by like, I give it shit 10 fucking sentences. You know what I mean? Like 3 minutes of speaking to someone, you're like,
they're already checked out. Yeah.
All right, man. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and cut this off because this is not. Yeah, this ain't going well. We're good. I'm good. Nah.
Perfect. Anything else, brother?
No, man. I'm just looking forward to how this thing's gonna turn out, man. So again, if you guys are listening, make sure you go like, subscribe, share.
We got to get better.
Instagram, Facebook.
Even if you don't
YouTube.
Like it, subscribe anyway.
Yeah, like, even if you don't
just
like
help
it, go
us
subscribe and share.
It don't cost you nothing.
Don't cost you shit, right? Obviously, go buy the book everywhere books are sold. Barnes and Nobles.
The
Walmart.
ebook
as well.
$8.99, bro.
Ebook as well if you're cheap. Ebook if you got a Kindle. Ebook,
it works.
You know what? I just thought about this. We need to get somebody to read the audiobook.
We are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's already come up. We'll talk about that offline.
Yeah. Whose voice are we going to pick, right?
Exactly. It's a pain in the ass.
So
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Get somebody to read the audiobook for it.
You would be the best, bro. That voice you got, people will listen.
Welcome to the quiet storm.
But it takes time, bro. So bringing up Doug again, he's doing his, and he's doing it himself. It's taken 3 weeks, 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, recording, reading, because you got to do the inflection, the pauses, say the words correctly, stumble, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do it.
I can't remember. That's how I consume a lot of my shit. It's audiobooks. So like in itself, it's crazy. But like I'll listen to cause there's some books that have different readers, right?
Yeah.
And I'll listen to like I guess like the trailer, the preview, if you will. And I'm like, if I don't like the voice, it's like, but that shit will
I can't listen to that for 40 hours or whatever, however long it takes to do that.
Or like imagine Ben Stein trying to read you a book.
Yeah. Blackout.
Yeah, no. But man. For the people who have bought the book and follow us, thank you. Appreciate your support and your help. Share with your friends, families, enemies if you want to. That'd be great too.
Yeah, share it with your enemies. Love it.
Share it with your enemies too.
Let me say this. What we're trying to do on Street Tales and a lot in 56'N. 56'N is just us,
You're just talking shit. Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah, we're just shooting shit.
The two podcasts are very different, the way they're structured, but for both of them, it's not really about us. A small part it has to be because we're the ones doing it. So I can't say it's not about us, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to capture stories and topics that are important to everybody, but not just law enforcement, but people on both sides and people, mental health, training. I mean, there's just so many cool stories, dude. And I'm just trying to do the best way. And that's the point. I want to get to a point where I can roll out that product that people are like, listen to and it hits them. Or they're like, I never knew that. Or I didn't think about that. I mean, like when you and I were talking about, I was like, I grew up in a fucking trailer park, dude. Yeah. You're like, I always forget that. I'm like, yeah, I know. Most people do because I don't do that anymore. I used to have a deep, deep Southern accent, which I still, sometimes it hits. Sometimes words catch me or I'll talk about topics, but it's like, we're human beings and we got to get back to a point where just because you had a bad experience with one person doesn't mean it's going to be the same. And that most people who volunteer, because when I say volunteer, they sign up. I mean, they get paid, but they didn't have to. They're not like snatching you out of your house going, yeah, you're going to come be a cop or a soldier or something. They're human beings. So there's good guys, there's bad guys, there's people who have good days, bad days, and it's the human experiment, I guess.
Yeah, man.
The only way it's going to get better is through dialogue, talking, understanding. That's the goal.
If they're willing to listen.
Yeah, well, listen
on both sides, and if you're willing to speak, and if you're willing to listen.
Willing to speak is a hard one. I don't think people understand how hard it is to get somebody who's a cop or whatever, or even
just in general.
Maybe was in the throes of addiction. This is the thing I'm learning. So let's talk. Cops are one thing because a lot of cops they don't want to talk about it. They're like, I'm retired, or they're like, I don't want to talk. I don't want anybody to know who I am.
That's fine.
I get it. I fully understand. I'm still struggling with that myself. Too late. I'm here now. Yeah. But also people who have gone through addiction or criminality or whatever it is, and then come out on the other side. It's almost like they want to. I don't want anybody to know that's not me anymore.
Yeah. Or I just want to distance myself from that completely, which I completely understand.
And I understand. I totally get it. But 100%. That story, it helps people, especially when they're like, they feel all alone. Yeah. Like nobody understands what I'm going through. And if you could share your story and it's like, oh, there is light on the other side, or hey, how did they do that?
Yeah. Well, every story is unique. I think 100%. That a lot of people will find that there are a lot of similarities in their stories to other people's, and they could help someone either kind of get to where they need to go, or where they want to go, where they're hoping to get to, or also kind of keep people at the same time from one making the same mistakes or falling backwards. But like I said, I think we're talking about which side of law enforcement, whatever. But sometimes I think it's more difficult to talk about your, I guess, mistakes or downfalls or flaws or whatever. I think that's a lot, to me, that's a lot more courageous doing that than it is to me to talk about what the fuck I do for a living.
Yeah. Let me tell you about all the great things I've done.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so amazing.
I'm so amazing.
So amazing. Let me say this in the most modest way I can. I love these things.
Yeah. But again, I think that's important too, because there are people doing them. Again, like Vic, we did an episode with him on Street Tales. We're doing another one. Just like, I retired from law enforcement. Dude was a fucking SWAT guy, canine handler, bomb team, breacher. I was like, bro, say what you did, bro.
Say what you did,
important. And was doing all that while going through cancer, bro. Like that's a cop thing. They just like, I did all right. There's people way better, way more experienced. I'm like, bro, I get it. But struggle with that every day.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, for
that's
sure.
what I was talking about before, like the imposter shit.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
sure.
you are doing the shit. Right. Yeah. But it's like, I was telling this about a buddy the other day, and he was like, it's like this. He's like, everybody's, obviously, like Jordan, LeBron, KD, is the top, whatever. And that's what everybody's kind of like looking at. He's like, you forget those other guys are in the NBA too.
Yeah. And Jordan, LeBron, as good as they are, they couldn't win by themselves.
Exactly. It's like,
period.
So it's like a lot of
1-on-5 ain't gonna work, bro.
Yeah. He's like, bro, you're in the NBA too. I'm like, yeah, that's a good way to
think about the NFL. You really only talk about maybe 20 dudes, really, right? Maybe, I don't know. It depends on how involved you are. They highlight 20, whatever. Each team has 100 people on a team.
People on a team. Like, bro, you're in the NFL.
And then there's the coaches and the trainer. There's a lot. It's an organization.
Yeah. You're at the top of the top.
That's why people are like, oh, dude, would you have gone to the NFL if it was like for the Browns? Yes. I don't give a fuck. Name any team. Yes.
But you play for the Browns. I was like, and you play for no one. Exactly. It's like, I'm in the fucking NFL, guys.
Yeah, motherfuckers. Yes. I don't think that counts. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, bro.
All right, brother.
See you on the next one.
Later this week. All right, brother.
Woo! All right, hold on. Let me...